This is for everyone out there, namely Rude Boy, which name suits. He is very rude. I have spastic paraplegia, along with many others. We don't appreciate being called spastics. We don't appreciate being called, hope we have a spasm, all this rubbish. Because this kid, or whoever he is, and others like him, they don't know what they're talking about. And, I hope that they never have to experience what it's like to go through a spasm. They should count themselves lucky. I mean, one of these days, they may end up finding themselves disabled. It may not be through spastic paraplegia. It could be through an accident. They could find themselves in a wheelchair. So it's not good to point your finger at somebody else and pass judgment on them, especially when you know nothing about them and nothing about their condition. I didn't ask to be disabled, but I am disabled, and I will fight tooth and nail to prove that just because we're disabled doesn't make us ignorant, doesn't make us stupid or anything else. And I have, even before my disability took hold, I didn't like it when I was younger, watching other disabled people being verbally attacked and abused like Rude Boy did to me. So if there's any other disabled people out there and he makes comments, I suggest you block him and report him to YouTube. People like that, I've had it. I've had my former neighbor, her daughter called me a spastic yid, and I'm not going to use the other word she used. And as far as I'm concerned, these people have serious issues of their own. And, maybe why don't you, Rude Boy, try to walk in the shoes of people who are disabled? Maybe why don't you spend some time with people like me that are disabled? You wouldn't be so rude then, would you? And I don't care what you think. I've blocked you, so you can't make any comments on my website. You can't send me any messages because I don't want you to have anything to do with me. Because, as far as I'm concerned, if all you're going to do is send abusive comments to me, I won't know part of it. I don't send abusive comments to other people. I give the same respect I expect in return. And Rude Boy, according to your profile, you're 14 years old. I suggest, young man, that, because I'm 45 this October, and I suggest to you that you grow up, because when you get older and you have that same kind of attitude, there's going to be people who will not take too kindly to being spoke to the way you spoke to me in the message you sent me. And, you don't know what's around the corner. You could end up having an accident and finding yourself in a wheelchair or injured in some way and find yourself disabled. And then you're going to want people to understand you. You want people to understand how you feel. And by the way, I'm not self-centered and I'm not selfish. I just know what it means to be ill, and I know what it means to deal with people like you. The reason I made Spastic Paraplegia and me was to hopefully connect with others on YouTube who share the condition, because it is rare, and in UK here it's hardly heard of, it's unknown. It's not as well known as multiple sclerosis and other neurological conditions. And I don't think that you had any right to say those things to me that you did, because one, again, you don't know me. Two, I'm old enough to be your mother, and I tell you what, if you were my son and I knew that you said something like that to somebody who was disabled, oh, young man, you wouldn't know what you'd expect to get. Because my child, I'm about to be a grandmother in April, and my daughter, she always grew up with respect for other people. Matter of fact, she works with delayed children. So, if you grew up in my household, I wouldn't tolerate it for 1 minute. I wouldn't tolerate you abusing other people. And I don't understand how come your parents tolerate it, because I certainly don't. And if I should imagine if your parents found out, they wouldn't be too happy. And because I was brought up to have much greater respect for other people, regardless of their ability or disability. Like I said, I was going to report you to YouTube for your abusive comments, but I should think the moderators will probably see this message and they'll probably deal with you accordingly. But if you have any questions concerning my illness and others who suffer the same illness as me, fine, I'll answer them. I'll answer them in a manner that is conducive to educating you as to what we go through. But I will not tolerate abuse of you or anybody else, and I don't expect any other disabled people on YouTube to tolerate it either, because I know that I'm ranting and raving at the minute, but it's not the first time this has happened to me. I'm tired of being called a spastic. You know, I normally let it wash off my back, and I just normally ignore it. But when someone on an internet channel like YouTube comes out with that kind of abuse, that really gets my goat, because they're not just throwing it at me, as far as I'm concerned. They're throwing it at other people like me, and I am not happy, because they just don't know what they're talking about. And I'm just going to close this, but for all of my other subscribers and my friends and that on YouTube, I love you guys loads, and I appreciate your emails. Now, I'm sorry I haven't been able to get through all of them, but I just wanted to get this message across, especially to the likes of RUDEBOY. I don't know if any of you know who I'm referring to. You probably had comments from him before. I can't remember the other numbers connected to his profile. But if you go on my Spastic Paraplegia and me, you'll find him there. That's where you'll find his comments there. And like I said, I've blocked him, and I'll continue to block others who are abusive to me on YouTube, because there's no need for it. I thought we were living in a civilized society and civilized culture, and there is no excuse for rudeness or that kind of attitude or behavior to anybody, regardless of race, religion, sex, or ability or disability. There's no need for it. This is a civilized world, at least I thought it was, and hopefully, because people should be able to get along regardless of their ability or disability or their race, religion, or background. It's got people are people. People make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. I've made a few, and I'm just hoping and praying that RUDEBOY wakes up before it's too late and realizes that if he wants to get on in this world, the only way he's going to be able to do it is to start learning how to respect others, and most of all, respect himself, because obviously he doesn't respect himself very much for him to come out with comments like that. He must not, well, either that he's got a poor home life or something, because his abuse and his language is derogatory and it's disgusting. And that to be honest, I had a 14-year-old stepson that used to be like that, and well, needless to say, I'm divorced his dad, because his dad did nothing to discipline him for his abuse to me. So there you go. And I'll be closing for now. Love, light, and peace to all my subscribers and friends. I love you guys loads. Keep emailing.